One thing that people are always asking me here at Pod TV is about interesting and new shows that we can have on the network. And I know that Kim Calhoun and Nick Palveda, two of the founders of the network, are always talking about fiscal literacy and the need for fiscal literacy in society. They actually wish that the school system would teach more about fiscal literacy. So I've had the pleasure recently of meeting this wonderful lady named Jay Graham that is working at the Cultural Arts Center that I work at. She is the bookkeeper there, but she's also said that she's always had an interest in having her own podcast to talk about exactly that, financial CPRR, and getting people involved in better financial spaces. We know that in a lot of communities, whether it's African American communities, brown communities, and other communities, a lot of times we are not as financially prepared as we would like to be. I was hearing this lesson where she had this whole notion of some goals that she even set for her children because she is a mother and all along those lines. So I'm going to bring Jay in and she's going to give us a presentation on this regular show that we're going to do here on Pod TV called Financial CPRR. And this is our first episode and all along those lines. So I'm here to bring in our host and she's going to talk about what she's got going on. She is truly the hostess with the mostest and all along those lines. But I am looking forward to learning a lot because I know that a lot of times, even those of us that are seasoned, for lack of a better term, we oftentimes need some fiscal knowledge and some financial knowledge and all in that space. So I'm going to bring in Jay. She is a lovely lady and all in that space. And she's going to be teaching us about how we can recalibrate our financial situation and all along those lines. And in the backdrop, I've got the city of Durham. I can't remember. I think that she's in Durham. She might be in Raleigh, but she's definitely in one of the triangle cities and all along those lines. But I am a fan of Durham, and I know that Durham, a lot of us are thinking that Durham is an affluent city, and it is an affluent city, even though Pod TV is a global network, and Durham is an affluent city. But there are people that even among the affluent that have problems with their finances and all along those lines. So I'm going to turn it over to Jay, and she's going to introduce herself even more than I did. I just let you know that she's connected to the Cultural Arts Institution that I'm part of, and she'll tell you some more about some of the things that she is hoping to share with us over several weeks, actually years and everything. Because I'm just convinced that this is going to be a very popular show, and this is going to be going on for decades. She doesn't know this, but I'm convinced of this and all along those lines. So I'm going to step aside. I may have some questions, or she may call me and ask me if I've got any questions, but I'm going to step aside and let her begin her show much in the way that I did with the lady that was talking about Medicare, and she's been doing her show now for about 8 weeks or something like that. But I'm turning it over to you, Jay, and I know that folks will have questions, and you can definitely share it to your Facebook, and eventually we'll make it so that it'll go live to your Facebook. But for this initial episode, we'll do a shared episode. And matter of fact, while you're talking, I may put a link in that you can share as well. But right now, I'm going to let you give your presentation and turn it over to you.
Good evening, everyone. Oh my God, I hope you guys are having a lovely day. And if you have not had a lovely day today, you should be ashamed of yourself because you're above ground. You are beautiful, you are gifted, and everything is about you is great. As he said, my name is Jay Graham. I am the founder, visionary, and president, CEO, wearing all the hats of Anchored Success Accounting and Management Services. I am located remotely, but as again, he mentioned, I am in a triangle area, which is Raleigh, Durham, Wake Forest, and all those great areas. I do travel remotely. I do handle consultation, business growth, and everything else remotely. My business is ensuring that everyone else navigate through their finances with care, with clarity, and also with forgiveness. You know, we go through our lifetimes where we struggle with our finances and we're trying to start and we're trying to get it together. So this session is it's going to call Financial CPRR, which means we're going to resuscitate your finances to where you can go out and do the great things that you want to do, own your business, invest in some land, invest in some property, get your finances together, get financial freedom, get financial clarity, and remove the stressor. So again, a little bit of history about me. I have been an accountant, bookkeeper, nonprofit organizations, corporate America, private sectors, and so forth for 20 plus years. Oh my God, I'm giving my age away. Not exactly, but 20 plus years. So with that being said, I love bookkeeping. I love accounting. I love going deep dives. I love helping people, not say helping. I love assisting people and being on their financial journey with them, whether it be in their personal finances, whether it be in their business. So again, let's start. We are, before we do start, let's take a deep breath. We breathe in, we let it out. We breathe in and we let it out. And we're doing that because tonight we're not going to judge ourselves. We are not going to compare ourselves to our financial situation or other situations or the things that we've done in the past. We're not going to be ashamed. This is a space of no judgment, no anything like that. We are going to give ourselves some what we call a forgiveness pass. Forgiveness for all the financial stresses that we have, forgiveness for our debts and everything. So my story is I was coming back, like a quick history. I started my financial journey. My mom was a single parent. She started me at 8 years old doing her bookkeeping and doing her finances for the overall household. Between her and my sister, it was where I had to go in. She wrote the checks out. I would go pay the bills, what they call back in the day uptown. So when I would go uptown to pay the bills, I had to come back and supply my mom with and my sister money so they can have gas, groceries, and so forth. And I did that for years. My first job was that. Then I came back home and did the bank reconciliations for our household. Then my mom at age 12 taught me how to do taxes. So I learned how to do taxes at age 12. Back when you had to go to the library and get the paperwork and read the documents and so forth and so on. Then I had to go out, and at 14, I learned how to do taxes and I started getting money for that. But I want you to raise your hand. How many of us, or how many have you, have ever checked your bank account before you swiped your debit card? Have not. How many have ever paid one bill while putting the other bill past due? How many ever said, you know what, I'm just going to go out, have fun, eat, and do whatever, and now think about the next thing on my next paycheck? So again, this is a no judgment zone, because in order for us to get past to this financial CPRR, we have to come to a place and a space in our lives where we have to be honest with ourselves and we have to be honest with our financial situation. We just got to be honest, because we can't get past or get to a place of financial clarity, peace, removing the traumas and the stresses until we do so. Okay. Now let's go in to do this. Money touches everyone in so many ways. If you are stressed out, mad, angry, you just left your job, somebody just ran you off the road or everything, you want to just calm down. And the first thing we do is the what did we call it? Retail therapy. It's not therapy at all. It's actually it's called financial trauma and financial stress. And that's a stressor. So one of the things I also teach people is to recognize your stressors and then come to some clarity. But we'll get down to that further along. But I want to let you know that I'll give you a 5 minute of me. You have to be, I still wonder how, I got over my financial history and financial series. My situation is very, very rough, right? Not saying when I was growing up, but my financial thing, because, I have all of these degrees, work in the professional field, doing everything. And I felt like I supposed to have everything together. My mom taught me finances. I manage people's books. I do accounting. I do budget. So I'm thinking I supposed to have everything together. That's not true, because life happens and we don't prepare for it. And the one way we don't prepare for it is when we are actually trying to go through these new jobs and we're saying, hey, I want to make this amount of money, but we doesn't take into consideration of what it costs us to make that money. We have to apply a proper formula so that we can get the money that we need to sustain our household. And I'll teach you those formulas as we go along in our financial CPRR. Again, remember, we are resuscitating our financial situation. We are moving from financial stress, which means we're not struggling in the strive anymore. We're actually going to transition and thrive. Okay, let us focus on those. Now, in finances, I know for me, I was only taught the basis, and my mom taught me in the basis of far as being survival. We were really never taught how to manage our money. We were taught to go get it to pay the bills, to probably have something left over. We were never taught to budget. Budget. Oh my God. We're always scared of that word budget, because budget to us means that we can't buy what we want to buy. That's a myth. Budget means you can buy what you want and need to buy, but you also have the opportunity to have a space of peace and relaxation, so that when you buy it, you don't have to go take it back. Or when you buy it, you don't have what they call buyer's remorse or guilt or anything like that. So I want you to think about this. When you're doing your finances, again, it's a small budget. So we're going through an hour show. So I'm going to give you these little small tidbits to help you out. When you think about budget, what is the one word that you feel when you hear money? You hear fear, stress, hope, bills, debt, anxiety. I can't do what I want to do. And that's not what money is. Money is an emotional. Money is the way we experience money. I'm teaching a 52-week course. And in the 52-week course program, it's called the Financial CPRR program. And in that course, it tells you your money is your mirror. It's a reflection of you. It's a reflection of your habits. It's a reflection of how you feel at that particular moment. I say to you, what that is, and it brings to you your financial trauma, which is your debt. Me personally, before I got to this point in my life, I literally nearly lost everything. Everything. My home, my car, I didn't have any insurance, car insurance. I didn't have everything. And I was like robbing Peter to pay Paul and inviting them both over to dinner. You know that cliche. And they didn't want dinner. They want that money. So I had to get to a place to where I had to understand how my money was working, because I was working for my money. This is how you get to that place. One key thing, when you go to these jobs, before you apply for a job, because you see that dollar mint figure of 120,000, 95, 85, you need to practice a concept. The concept is taking your total expenses, dividing them by zero point 0.5, multiplying them by 12. That is how much you have to make. For example, if your expenses are $3,000 a month, your household expenses, this includes your going out, get your hair done, haircut, nails, toes, all that stuff, all of your expenses in your household. Even if you buy bubble gum every day, it's an expense. Anything that comes out of your pocket is an expense. So if your expenses are $3,000 a month, 3,000 times divide by 0 0.5 is 6,000. You take that $6,000 and then you multiply it by 12. That is $72,000. And that is how much you have to make in a year. If your expenses are over that, and if your expenses are, your total is $110,000, and you're telling your job that I'm okay with 95, then you're already under. So now you got to go pick up extra money and extra jobs and do side hustles and so forth. Or if you have a business, you're now taking from your business to sustain your household. I show individuals, businesses, and other organizations how to keep them separate. And one way is you have to be honest with yourself and your spending. In the program, I have individuals. The first week was very hard for them. And in the first week, they had to look at their bank statements and go back 30 days to see what their spending was. And to their amazement, they saw that they was going out eating a whole lot. I challenge you to go back and look at only 30 days. I don't want you to go back 2 months, because you're going to put yourself in financial trauma. And I don't want you to do that. I'm bringing you out. I challenge you to go back and look at your bank statement. 30 days now, just 30 days, and see where you spend the most. Going out to eat, going out to movies, going out of town, going, or just going. And I guarantee that all of that is attached to some form of stress and trauma. Okay. Now, what is financial trauma? Financial trauma isn't just debt, it can be growing up hearing and watching your parents and their spending or them, struggling. It can be come from losing a job and you trying to grab it together, medical bills, divorce, separation from a spouse, friend, boyfriend, whatever you have. And we go again, it's how we spend during those time periods. And then at that time, we're trying to maintain a sense of control in our lives. So therefore, that's where the financial trauma comes in at. Now, here's what I want you to think about. Financial CPRR is 4 phases. It's a commitment phase, it's a prioritized phase, it is a reconciliation phase, and it is a rebuild phase. And I know I don't have much time to go in depth, but what I want to do is take you through what I call an interactive phase, if I can. The interaction is, again, I told you to go grab your bank statements and look at your bank statements and a 30-day history of that. Once you do that, you can actually see all the expenses that you have, spent out. Then I also want you to look at how much income you have coming in. Is it sustainable for you? Is it stressing you out? Do you make enough? How do you go about making enough? How do you go about making changes? Or better yet, what I call stopping leaks. Stopping leaks is example. If you have a membership at the gym and you only visit the gym twice, maybe 3 times a year, which is the beginning of the year, before November and December, because you're going to eat a lot, and during the summer months, 3 times a year. Yes, you're going to visit the gym. But the gym membership, if you have a Planet Fitness Black Card, that membership is, I think, about $25 a month. But you're only visiting 3 times a year. So you take that $25 times 12 and subtract the actual times that you go. That's how much you're actually giving away. That's a leak. Okay. Another leak is streaming. Streaming. If you're only watching repeats and reruns of streaming, you can go Tubi. And I'm not advertising Tubi or any other streaming networks. I'm only saying these are the things that you can actually use to stop the leaks. One thing I challenge people in the CPRR program that I'm actually launching or have launched, I am challenging them to give up one thing for 30 days. After the 30 days, it becomes a habit. It becomes a lifestyle. So one of the things I gave up is going out to eat. I go out to eat once and I put myself on the budget. When you go outside of your house on whatever you do, you put yourself on a budget. A budget. Example 1, I'm an avid thrifter. Everybody knows that. When I go out to thrift it, my budget for thrifting that month, the whole month, is approximately $100. That's it. Anything over? No. Another thing I want you to focus on, not only while you're stopping the leaks, is actually taking an assessment of your overall spending habits as if you really need it. I put things in my cart and I ask myself, do I really need it? Do I want it? If I want it, then I put it back. If I need it, then my next question will be, well, how much does it cost? How often am I going to use it? By the time you ask these series of questions, you probably will put the items back. Another thing I want to introduce to you is how to manage the money you have going in. That goes back to setting up a budget. Again, don't be scared of the budget. Budget is not to stop your spending. It's getting you organized so that you can enjoy spending. Right now, you're not enjoying spending because you're here, you're putting here, and then you're trying to already figure out your next check is already spent because you're living paycheck to paycheck. Understandably, the way the economy is set up right now, living paycheck to paycheck is a thing. And it's unfortunate. It's an unfortunate thing. And people are struggling. You can't pay your water bill, light bill, mortgage, rent, what have you. I know, I understand. And if you and God forbid you're unemployed, that's another thing that you have to deal with. And those are triggers. So what I want you to do is focus on those triggers, not as you're in a bad state or bad place, but look at ways of how you can cut in your home. You may have to choose one streaming network, internet, one streaming network. Go look at your cell phone bill. Call the cell phone company. Ask them, is there a way that you can help with your cell phone to migrate it to come down? T-Mobile, again, I'm not sponsoring any of these. T-Mobile, I chose T-Mobile because I'm over 50, and they have a program for individuals over 50 to where it is a good for one, I think one or two phone lines, and you don't pay that extra cost. Also, T-Mobile has the benefits that you can use, like on your perk, which you call Perk Tuesday, 20 cents off on your gas. Everybody needs to get gas because gas is high right now. So look at those things that you can actually help you with in your financial status. Okay. I also want to go over a lot, but again, due to time, I put down just a bare minimum of what we can actually do. I also want you to think about as we go through this is here's a fun activity for you. I want you to take out your wallet, purse, phone, and I want you to look at how many subscriptions that you currently have. I also encourage everyone to download mint.com. Mint.com, as maybe as your banking, it checks the swipes that you have and it categorizes the swipes that you use. It'll tell you if it's fun, entertainment, or so forth. That's a good tracking mechanism if you're not the person like me that writes everything down, put it in an Excel spreadsheet, and so forth and so on. If that's you, then yes, mint.com will be that one for you to be able to track your expenses only, not your income. And then you have to go in and do the math on that for your income, how much you get from your W-2, your other jobs, your other source of income, and you minus that from your expenses. If you are in a negative, that means you have more expenses going out than income coming in. So that's the adjustment. And if you need some assistance with that, I'm here. Another thing I want you to look at, again, your Netflix. Netflix has changed. Again, I'm not sponsoring T-Mobile. I'm just saying the benefits that help me. I like Netflix. I like Hulu. I like Apple. I like all of those shows because I get good shows. T-Mobile had it for me only, Jay Graham. T-Mobile had it in my bill to where my Netflix and my other Apple and so forth is on them. I think I pay $3 a month for Apple TV, and everything else is on them. That's my Netflix, my Hulu, and I forgot the other one that I have with them. But yeah, it's on them. So that means I don't have to pay that additional because it's wrapped in my phone. Why pay it twice? Okay. So those are some things that just some grounding things that you can actually look at. Another thing in your finances that I want you to look at which is the important thing of what we need as we're getting older and wiser. Your 401k, your retirement, all of that great things. I want you to start. And then also for businesses, let's talk about the 401k and your retirement. You can actually start setting those things to the side. By doing this, you will actually have to have additional bank accounts open. Other banks accounts choose to where if you have a certain amount deposit into your account for a total of whatever the amount is this at that month, they'll give you an extra $400, $600, $800 in your account. That's a win-win. You know what I mean? Okay, that's one. Let's talk about your bank account. If you pay bills, think of this like a business. If you pay bills, you have a bank account. That's your primary. That's the account that bills go in. If you buy birthday cards, Christmas presents, and so forth, then you have another account. That's the other account. And then you have another account for your debt. Okay? That's the account that you should have. And then whatever you have left over should be your savings. Okay? Again, we have so much to go over. And I know we cannot go over it now. I wish that we could. I have so much to offer on to you to help you get out of your financial stress situation. And guess what? You only have to do is your time. And if you want one-on-one sessions with me, yeah, it'll be your time and a little bit of money, but it won't be too much. It'll be something bearable that you can handle. But let's talk about this. You have your business account and your operating account, and you have your personal account. Okay. This goes out in your home. The things that goes out, your mortgage, your rent. Talking about personal, not business yet. Your mortgage, your rent, your lights, your car payments, all of those, they call them necessities. These are your needs. And I'll break down a formula next time. I hope you stay with me next time. I have a formula for that too. Here are your needs. These are the things that need to come out, that you need to be able to survive in your home and everything. These are the things that need to be paid. The things that won't is your shopping sprees, going out of town, going out of the country, going to events, going to a music festival. Those are your wants. Keep them separate. So in your needs, these are the things that go out of your household account. That's the primary account that you want your money to go in. So now that goes back to the figuring out of what's actually going in and what's actually coming out. I would suggest and recommend that you have one account, and I call it the house account. I just had to do that because I got in a financial situation. I told you it happens to everyone. And I'm not ashamed to admit it, but I'm thankful that I'm out. So now I can show you how to not get in it or how to come out of it. I have one house account that goes to all of my bills and all of my finances, everything, my house account. I have a separate account, my savings. I try to put in savings a month because I'm on in my financial CPRR program. I'm giving individuals 3 tiers that they have to check off. The first tier is saving $5,000 to $7,000. The second tier is saving $8,000 to $9,000. The third tier is saving the platinum, which is $10,000. It can be done. I check the third tier because it's a challenge for me. And the goal of that is to save the $10,000. And you have to ask yourself why I want to save. But that's another part. Okay. But that's the savings tier, savings. And as you start to build up, and I have formulas to break down on how you can build up, even if you're living paycheck to paycheck. The third account is birthdays, holidays, Christmas, friends, so forth and so on. Okay. That's the third one. And what you're doing is separating. You don't want to spend Christmas money and birthday money using your house account money because now you have to rebuild that. And you don't want to take from other accounts to rebuild because you want to get out of that. You want to have a structured path forward. Okay. Got it. One of the challenges that I have, or not challenges, the other one is your savings account. Your savings account is your savings, and then you have your debts that you want to pay. And I have a chart and creation that I created for how to manage your debt and how to pay off your debt using my Excel spreadsheet. Okay. Stick with me. I'm going to get you out of this. We're going to take this financial journey together. We're going to get out of financial trauma, and we're going to remove the stress so that you can enjoy going out of the country, out to eat, out on your events, and not have to say, you know what, I'll figure it out later. It's already, because it'll be already figured out. Okay. Got it. We're at 7:32 now because I want to be able to have some time open up for questions. And I'm hoping I'm giving you a lot of information that you can share with others, and also more information that you can come back and invite some other people. And hopefully you'll have some questions for me And then more importantly, I want to be able to give you the resources you need and the assistance you need to get you out of financial trauma. And I understand, I have had all the stories, financial trauma, no job, living paycheck to paycheck. I have everything that you have, I probably have had it too. Got it? Okay. Here's another thing. I want to give you the $27 challenge. It's always something, right? No, you're not going to give me $27. But if you want to, I'll accept it. My Cash App is $J7. I'll accept the $27. But anyway, here's the $27 challenge that I want to give you. $27 a day. You can blow $27 a day. I know me at Firebirds. Going out to eat twice. My favorite restaurant was on Thursdays. I'll go to Alpaca Thursday. That's $13, $14. And then I'll hit, my little dessert bar, which is nothing but buns. So now I'm at $27. See what I'm saying? Okay, so you can hit $27 easy. So instead of spending $27 a day, because you do it a day. Yes, you do. Yes, you do, because I've done it. Take that $27 a day and you put it in your little jar and you call it my savings jar or my $10,000 jar. So that $27 a day or will add up to $189 a week, will eventually add up to $10,000 or close to $10,000 a year. You mean to tell me you can save $10,000 a year by just not spending $27 a day? And the thought that you can buy, you don't need another pair of shoes. Trust me, we only have 2 feet. And sometimes on a good day, if like me, you're in your 50s or what have you, by the time you lift that dance floor and do all the dances a couple of times, you ready to put on some flops. So $27 a day can end up being $189 or $189 a week, can give you up to $10,000 a year. $10,000 a year? What would you do with $10,000 a year? Would you pay off debt? No. Guess why? It'll be saved is because with my method and with what I'm doing, what you'll be doing to use the $10,000 to pay off the debt, you would already paid it off. No brainer here. No brainer. The formula for financial trauma equals financial emotional triggers, repeated habits, poor spending habits, which creates your financial stress. How do you erase it? Financial CPRR, with the commitment to not do excessive spending, to save $27 a day, to stop the leaks, to look at your expenses prior 30 days, remember, to build you a sustainable budget so that you can live happy, not joyous, but happy. To commit to prioritize the things that are needed, your house, your lights, those things, your needs. Prioritize those. Reconcile how you used to do things, meaning we're resuscitating our financial situation. And then we're going to rebuild. That means we're going to produce financial confidence, financial stability, and we're going to have financial freedom. This is my program. And more importantly, this is what I love talking about, because I've been through a lot with the finances. I've lived paycheck to paycheck. I live with no check. I live with only $106 a week from unemployment. And I had to maintain this household. Plus, I had a daughter in college. Plus, I had her bills and my bills. Then I maintained with $350 a week. Still, I got behind in bills. So when I say I've been through it to where I'm about to lose a home, about to lose the car, had no insurance, had to call people, set up payment arrangements that failed, I've been there. I know what you're going through. That's why I said this program, this is a judge-free judge. We're not judging each other. We're not even going to judge ourselves. We're moving out of these situations that kept us bound up, because as long as you stay bound up, your financial traumas and stresses continue to grow. So what I would like to do is think about your savings. What goal would you have, the 5 or the 7 or the 10? How can we get there? I believe that this program and me talking to you, structuring your financial situation can help you get there, if not better.
Well, that sounds great. You got some great information and you've been providing. We still got about 25 more minutes to go in an hour program and everything like that. But as you were talking, Jay, I was thinking that I am guilty, and many people are during the pandemic of depending too much on my personal favorite is DoorDash. I know a lot of people are doing Grubhub and all along those lines. So I have probably spent easily $27 on DoorDash orders on a regular basis and everything like that. And like you, I have certain favorites that I might go to, like the Mediterranean Grill
Ooh,
uh, or Muchican, which is a Mexican restaurant, or a number of other ones, including now Tropical Smoothie and all along those lines. But
yes.
I do know that some of those orders can easily equal up to if you do even if you do the double deal or something like that, can
Yes.
easily get to $27 and all along those lines. Because sometimes I look, because I don't have a Mint. I had Mint some time back, but I do use Rocket Money, which is similar to Mint, and all along those lines and everything like that. So I do know what some of my money is going. And sometimes when I look at the report, I'm going like, good grief, a lot of money went to food and everything like that. So I
Yes.
get that feeling and everything like that, because I know that sometimes it is a comfort thing, because we are not always hungry when we are looking for food. Sometimes it's just the
It's
comfort that we want from food
right.
and things.
That's
So,
right. That's the financial trauma. That is a trauma because it's a triggered. Something triggered you to do that. Something triggered. Mine was like every time I would get upset. At the time, it's like retail therapy. It was not therapy at all. I was digging deeper in that financial trauma, that financial stress. So that became a trigger. So before I do that, I had to cap like, okay, what is my emotion? Let me sit still. Let me breathe. Let me understand, why am I going out here and spending?
yeah, a lot of people are doing that. And like I said, people like to get their toys and everything like that. I know that I think I gave you one too many kids when I was making the introduction, because if I remember correctly, it's just the one daughter, now that I remember correctly, and all along those lines and everything like that. But I know that earlier today I was talking to my mom, and she is well into her 80s and everything like that, but she was sending a gift to my nephew. My nephew is getting ready to go off to college, and I know you had a kid that went off to college. So my oldest nephew is getting ready to go to college, and he will be getting soon a computer, because that was the gift that my brother ordered through Amazon in order to him to have it at the house, so that when he goes to college in next semester, well, next month in August, he'll have a laptop to go with him and everything like that. Because I know my brother wasn't letting him take his computer; he needs it for work and everything like that. So he's going to need his own computer, and that's one of those items that we need, particularly as we go off into the workforce. But some people get carried away, and I know that my nephew will have one computer. I don't think he have tons of them, but I know some of these kids love to have all the gadgets. They got to have the computer. They got to have the iPhone. They got to have the various other toys, and sometimes they got to have multiple toys and all along those lines. Because some people want more than just one computer. They want maybe their work computer and their play computer and their other computers. But
Yes.
last time I checked, I'm personally good with the one computer I've got. Even though I might have a couple of phones, but definitely the one computer is perfectly fine and all along those lines. But I do know that some people love to have multiple technologies.
Yes, exactly. Yes, that is actually true. And I want to leave everyone with this, and before we close out, I want somebody, we seen and heard people and talk about, cardiac arrest, how, the person is not dead because they're trying to bring them back, and that's what we're trying to do here with financial CPRR. We are trying to bring the financials back to where you can sleep at night. You can feel good about your spending. You don't have to worry about spending it and trying to figure out how to make up for it later. That's the purpose of my program, Financial CPRR. And that is the purpose of me actually just helping people out financially with budgets. Even if for people who have businesses, I have part where it's on a business, how to help you maintain the business. People worry about when you have your business, the amount of money that they have to pay out at the end of your taxes. Okay, then now we come up with a plan so that when for the people like me who is an independent contractor, you put 25 to 30% to the side. I teach people how to pay credit card bills. People pay the monthly or the minimum payment. Well, the best way to keep your credit score up and to keep you and make it look like you have two payments, you pay on the statement date and you pay on the due date. So it's these little ticks and tricks that people that we are not aware that we were never taught.
Yeah, never
And
thought.
my goal is to teach us how to come out of that financial debt so we can have some financial freedom.
No, I love that, and we definitely need financial freedom. There are two items, as you can tell. I just actually got mine done over the weekend, and all along those lines. But there are two items that we definitely need because we want to present ourselves in the best light. And you mentioned the shoes and everything like that. But I know for a fact that one of the most expensive items that people spend a lot of money on, and of course we all want to look our best, and all along those lines, is the whole notion of cosmetology, whether it's the barber shop or the beauty salon, and all along those lines. And I know a number of people that will spend a lot of money on the various perfumes or even the oils. I knew a gentleman that used to
Yes.
sell oils not that far from the center and everything like that. And I've actually got a couple of the oils with me and everything like that because sometimes you want to go out, you want to have that smell good kind of sense and
Yeah.
all in that space and all in that way. But I just wanted your thoughts about that because that is one of those expenses that we need to have because it's more of a necessity than a luxury, but it is
Correct.
something that we need to have on a regular basis that can not be all that expensive. I know that even my own, I know that men's cuts are much less expensive than women's cuts, but even men wind up spending a decent amount of money. I think that every
Yes.
time I get my hair cut, it winds up being somewhere like around $50 to $60, and all along those
Yeah.
lines. I know some women are spending like hundreds of dollars and all in
Yes.
that
I
space
was
and
surprised
everything
with
like
the
that.
man cut when I went to guy. I needed a edge up, and I said, "Kira, you know what? I'm not gonna drive in my hometown. I'm not gonna drive to Clayton. I'm just gonna drive to where it was close." Guy charging me $30. I was like, "What? What happened to the $10 one?"
Yeah,
So yeah,
no, no, they're
they
not.
don't exist anymore.
The $10 one does not exist anymore. There are
No,
definitely
no, no,
some there,
no.
and all along those lines, and definitely, like I said. But I remember a friend of mine who was actually an ex that she went. I went with her to her beauty salon appointment, and I just remember being aghast. And this was probably about 10 years ago at the price of her whole beauty package because I want to say it was like went somewhere around 120, $150, and this was like 10 years
Wow.
ago and something like that. So it was, but she was getting the whole 9 yards and the whole work like that. But I was still going like, this is not cheap.
No, no, no. And see, that's where the budget comes. I was telling people like budget. And when we think of budget, we think of, oh my God, I can't do what I want to do. No, you can do what you want to do. You budget wisely and accordingly and actually so that when you do whatever, whether it be pamper yourself, take yourself out to eat, you'll have fun. Like now I can take myself out to eat because I say I go once a week now. I go out to eat once a week. I do. I'll take myself out to a nice restaurant or whatever once a week. And when I take myself out or once every other week, because I have a budget for when I go out, after the money's gone, it's gone. But I now can enjoy me sitting at the table and not worried about like, oh my God, do I have enough? Or, oh my God, I hope, you know what, I'll figure it out next time. Or maybe when I get my check, I can work some extra hours so that, no, you want to enjoy the food. You want to savor the food. You want to savor your finances so that when you're out doing that,
Yep.
you're enjoying it and you have a smile.
Yeah, because you mentioned one earlier and everything like that. Because you mentioned alpaca, and I'm actually a fan of that particular restaurant, not giving them a endorsement, but I personally like their food and everything like that. I've gone there a few times and always enjoy it. It's definitely along my favorites,
Yep.
along with Mediterranean Grill and a couple of other ones as well. And I just saw that there is a new restaurant that's opening not that far from the Haytime. Because I was actually telling one of our coworkers about it, but it is. East of Texas and everything like that. So it's a new
Yeah.
barbecue joint that has just opened up here in the area. And I think they were giving away, actually, when I got my hair cut, he was telling me that they were giving away free samples and everything like that. And I think they're doing it again this weekend. So they're basically doing a soft opening until they
Yes.
get
Yeah.
full opening on Labor Day and everything like that. So
But
that's
it's just
another
20,
way that you can get.
but it's just $27. 20, you imagine, think about every day. That's why I want people to look at their statements. $27 a day. You spend $27 a day. You spend $27 a day when you're sleeping. So instead of spending the $27 a day, put the $27 to the side. And I guarantee you will have up to $10,000 in a year.
No, you definitely have that, and I'm just going to put that notion in practice and everything like that. Because one of the things I remember when I first got out of college, and this was in the '80s, and a good friend of mine, I actually was talking to him earlier today, we used to love going to the happy hours, and part of the reason you would like to go to the happy hours is because you would get basically almost like a free meal. I know that there was one at the Sheridan and all along those lines because they would have chicken wings and they would have all the specials. That was your way to get a free meal for that one day. And I know people that literally were planning their lives around the various happy hours. Like they almost had to do a system. Like they might go to one on Monday, go to another one on Tuesday, go to another one on Wednesday, because they almost had it down to that college system of trying to survive by going to various happy hours if you knew the schedule and all along those lines. Unfortunately, happy hours are not as
the same
as they used to be, because that was a big thing that used to be existing back in, I'd say, the 90s and maybe even the early 2000s, but you don't see it as much now. I'm sure there are a couple people that are doing it, but the happy hour used to be a good way to get some good entertainment, because the entertainment was free, as well as getting a pretty decent meal. I remember even downtown in Durham used to do a happy hour and everything like that. So the happy hour was a wonderful way to get a nice discounted meal.
Good. Okay. So I see we're getting ready to close. It's like, I know I don't have any questions or anything like that, but I would like to invite the people over here to listen and to have some questions. I would like to know 3 questions I want to give them. One of the questions is, what's one financial habit you struggle to change?
Mm-hmm.
The second question is, what does financial peace look like for you and to you? And the third one is, if you could ask one question about money without it feeling embarrassed, what would it be?
Just really quickly, and I do want the people to go to those questions and everything like that. The one question that comes in my mind is, I know a lot of us as we get older, but even when we're younger, and I'm sure even your daughter does this as well, even though you've taught her financial independence, we are very quick to depend on those that are in our friend and family circle to help us when we are in a fiscal pinch and everything like that. Because I'm not going to lie, I'm at the age that I'm at. People don't necessarily know it, even though I don't hide it. It's in the 60 range and everything like that. But hey, I still reach out to mom if there is a financial need and all along those lines, because I know that mom will help me out, just like I know that dad will help me out if I need it as well. So we will definitely reach out to our friend and family circle if we're in those fiscal pinches, and we all get in those fiscal pinches.
Exactly.
If you were in some fiscal pinches, and I don't know if your mom is still living, but if she was living, I'm sure that there were times that you reached out to her if she was in a better situation than you in order to help out.
Exactly. And then we should be at the age now, like now, one of the bonus things that I'm trying to do now is structure people so that, we can set ourselves up to when we get a certain age that we don't have to reach out. We can actually be the one, we can be the lender rather than the borrower. I'm teaching my daughter, who is now 21, I'm teaching her what I was never taught, because we can't blame our parents because they didn't know. I'm teaching my daughter how to start investing. Meaning, hey, this is what I'm going to give. This is what your father's going to give. And then this is what you're going to get from your paycheck. Then I'm start teaching her how to save her money. And I'm teaching her, hey, go online to this site so that you can start doing your own basic investment of stocks and stuff. So when you get our age in the high 50s or in the 50s or even in the 40s, that you don't see striving and struggle, but you see thriving and transition. We have strived and struggled so long till it has now become part of our DNA. We feel like if something good happens to it that's not supposed to happen, or we get in a thing of money that we're not supposed to be. We're not supposed to be that. That's not where we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be thriving in transition, but we need to get out of the trauma so we can deal with the stress, so we can come out of struggle, so we can thrive.
No, I love that quote and everything like that, and I agree with you, Jay, and everything. But I know one of the things that my mom says, because she had a very successful career. She's retired and everything like that, and she worked in the trust fund field because she was the first president
Uh-huh.
of the Golden Lease Foundation, and she also worked with D. Smith Reynolds and everything like that. So I know whether it is myself, my nephews, or my brother, that the one thing that she says that if we are in that condition and everything like that is she says that if we need to make or get a loan from her or get a financial windfall or something along those lines, she said, I worked those years to make that money in order to be able to do this and all along those lines. So
Exactly.
that's not the exact way that she quotes it, but basically she's saying that I earned the ability to make this amount of money to be able to provide for those people that need it when they need it and everything like that is what she's
Correct.
basically alluded to and all of those lines. And we need to get to that position ourselves so that we can help those
Yes.
that are in need. So I need to get to the position where if my nephews come to me after having a difficult freshman year, I can say,
Yes.
hey, here's some
Exactly.
money that I can loan you to help get that book that you need and all along those lines. And my nephew is very smart, so I don't think it'll be a difficult year, but we never know. He's got a new roommate. He's got all these other things that he's not had before, so he may come to me with a certain amount of college stress. We do know that when you go to
Yes.
college, you
Yes.
sometimes get that college stress and everything. So hopefully, as we go on this lesson and this plan here on Pod TV, I will be able to save some of that money. Maybe not order DoorDash as much as I do right now and everything, but
No.
I can
No.
actually give some of
Yeah.
that money if I need to my nephew should he need that help.
And it actually, since I haven't been going out to eat and I've been stopping the leaks, it's actually put me back into my thing that I used to do before. I love cooking, so I love baking. So now it took me back to that place, and actually not going out being, because every time you go out the door, it costs to go outside. It
Yes.
costs. It costs. So now I'm actually, doing things around my home. Now I'm doing things, creating little areas in my house, like, gardening and stuff. I'm doing all these things that it takes away from you going out, and you can put that emotional stress that you have into reading a book or going walking in your neighborhood. And that way it keeps you out of the stores and so forth. So yeah, I also want to leave with this bonus takeaway today. It's an affirmation I like to end with.
Yes.
Today I choose progress over perfection. I forgive myself for what I didn't know. I commit to learning, rebuilding, and creating a future where my money has purpose, my mind has peace, my family has hope. My financial CPRR journey starts today.
Such a positive affirmation and all along those lines. You did a great job and all in that space in your opening initial show. And we'll be back next week at the same time with another great episode. But we'll close out with another important issue that a lot of people are very much concerned about, including those that are going through financial situations and everything like that, because we know that that can also impact your mental health. So this particular essay that I've got is around mental health, and I think it comes from some people in the Northeast and everything like that. So we'll close out with this mental health web at PSA that'll talk about the need for good, strong mental health. And if you've got problems in that space, some of the numbers that you can contact and all along those lines. Because mental health, we know that financial problems can lead to people having mental health issues as well, because sometimes it can lead to stress also. So we'll close out with this and everything like that. But you did a great job, Jay. For your first show, you did an absolutely great job. And I love the presentation and look forward to the presentation on next week. And I already sent you the email at your email to the link that you can post to your Facebook. So I've already sent you the YouTube link already. I did that while you were doing the first part of the presentation.
Thank you. I hope to be back again. I hope you guys enjoy me. I hope maybe I come back with some questions, or maybe somebody want to ask some things, or they want me to focus on or hone in on. I'll be glad to do it. Again, if you need to contact me, my name is Jay. My email address is JAYE @Anchored Success Management is hyphenated, which is mgmt.com. My website is www.anchored, ANCHORED, success, SUCCESSMGMT.com. My direct business line is 919-714-1766. And if you email me, you can book a 30-minute consultation so we can talk about you to get you on the right path. If you have a business, please do so. Email me, contact me so we can get you straight, so you can not have a grand opening, grand reopening, and grand reopening. We just need you to have one grand opening.
Not only that, but I know for a fact that you work not just only with for-profit businesses, but you also work with nonprofits. So no matter what the business is, you can actually cover their needs, because I know that you work with both for-profit businesses and nonprofits. So no matter what the nature of the business, you can definitely get in touch with Jay, because she's not focusing on one aspect of business. She's focusing on the multitude styles of business that exist and everything like that. So on that note, we're going to go out with this mental health PSA, but definitely you did a great job, and I look forward to seeing you again next week. And of course, I'll be seeing you at some of our job environments as well. But you did a great job, and you were spectacular as a hostess. So looking forward to seeing you again next week with another episode.
Thank you.
No problem.
If you're watching this with your friends,
you'll probably make a joke.
Because you know what you feel on the inside
isn't what you want people to know.
If you have to pretend to be happy,
find someone you trust and tell them.
If you get mad at things and you don't know why,
or have thoughts about hurting yourself,
find someone you trust and tell them.
You are never alone when you share.
Seriously, people care about you.
It's okay to not understand what you're feeling.
And it's easy to think that you're all alone.
But you don't have to be.
You're never alone when you share.
Don't be ashamed to tell someone you trust what you're feeling.
You're not alone.
You are not alone.
Find someone you trust and tell them.
Tell a parent.
Tell a teacher. Tell a brother or sister.
Or just tell a friend.
You haven't done anything wrong.
Talk to someone.
Talk to someone.
It's how things get better.